Alright everybody, hey, I'm back. It's Monday again. Monday is the night that we tend to work on the cars, if we're going to be working on the cars, but unfortunately Mike isn't here tonight. What I have behind me though is my Mini, and something that Mike and I discussed last week. So here is my plan. So ages ago I put the bonnet, or the clamshell bonnet, whatever you want to call on this, the hood, but as you can see here, tie the guard pretty close. So my plan, excuse the light behind me, it's night time and it's cold. My plan is to, if we open the bonnet, I'm going to take these guys here and I'm going to re-drill these holes, probably 50 millimeters further out. And I'm going to see if I can sit the bonnet a further 50 millimeters out. So basically, I'm about to do a robbed arm to see if I can extend the front end because not everything fits. Now, I want to run the big wheels on the car. I know I could run smaller wheels. I know I could probably run smaller tires. I may still run slightly smaller tires, but I'm still going to have an interference problem with the headlights. So if you look under here, the headlight is already touching. Maybe you can see that. There. Headlight's touching. And that's in a straight line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the bonnet. I need to look at how the bonnet is fixed to the upright hinge, what do you want to call it, and then see if I can extend it out or whatever. So I'll start at 50 millimeters because I don't really want to make the front end look too funny. I still want it to look like a Mini, but we've also got a lot of stuff to fit in the front. So if you look at the front of the engine here, the front pulley is going to come to around about here, so that leaves not a lot of room for a radiator and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we'll have to see what we can actually fit in behind it. But I think first things first is I pull this clamshell bonnet off, I get the panel stand and see what I can do and sort of maneuver things around a little bit. And that'll give us a good indication. Now, ideally, I need to turn the wheels, side to side and not interfere with the headlight. If I have to chop some of the headlight out, as long as I don't ruin its integrity, it should be okay. But as long as it can still turn under compression and all that sort of stuff as well, that's kind of important because I want to register this car on the road. So anyway, enough of me talking and explaining what I'm doing. I'm just going to get into it and do it. So let's see how we go. See if I can figure out this stuff off. As you can see, I really care about this car. And then, what do we got? Through to that. Oh, the thread's on there. Haha! Okay. So, the thread is on the actual hinge itself. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to mark 50 millimeters, and then we'll just extend this out. So it does mean that we will lose one of the bolting points for now, but I can always change that in the future. I'll probably extend them or something like that. But let's just figure out where exactly we want this to sit. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill this. You don't need to see that. And then I'll come back, fit it, and see how we go. Yeah, good chat. All right, so I know I said I wasn't exactly gonna show you, but I figured I will anyway. We have bolt number 1 and bolt number 2. So obviously, when the hinge comes up here, you can see that, but using my ruler as an example. When the hinge comes up here, we want to extend the bonnet out. So which means we're gonna take this hole here and we're gonna move that 50 millimeters out here, right? So the best way to do that, we just draw a line basically. So we find our center point, and there, and let's call that there, and we draw a line. So for me, that center point of the bolt hole. All I'm going to do now is take the center point of the hole, go 50 millimeters, and it's about there. And so this is our our test point, right? So it's not really going to be strong enough to hold it there for now, but it's going to be enough for us to see if it's going to stick out far enough for us. So mark out the hole. And that hole is approximately 8 millimeters. So we take our center punch. We make a little punch there. There. Both in the same place. And take our drill. Oops. Make a pilot hole. Oh, I could use a sharper drill bit. Repeat. Don't go too far. Alright, so now we've drilled that hole, we need to put the bonnet on and see if that's going to stick out far enough, and hopefully that will be enough. So the idea is we extend it, but not too much that it is too noticeable once we finish the car. I'm still deciding on whether I weld another back portion onto this or if I weld it onto the front cowling. I'm not sure which is the best way to go about it. I kind of feel if I weld it onto the bonnet, it's going to be less obvious. If I weld it onto the cowling, it's going to proportionally put everything out potentially. But anyway, let's go chuck this on the car and figure it out. Okay, I have just struggled getting this bonnet back on myself. It's way easier with 2 people, and I had to fight for the last 5-10 minutes. But I got it on. I haven't put it down or anything, so I wanted to film it just to, I don't know, so you see what I see at the same time. Anyway, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to get my torch because it's kind of hard to see with this light shining in my eyeballs. It's hard to see the clearance and stuff like that, so just give me 2 secs. Right, so I've just put these gas stays on. I don't know if they're going to hold or retract where they need to, but let's just see if they're going to do their job. Alright, so that's 50 mil further forward. Let's have a look and see. if I can figure out where the tyre sits in relation to the guard now. Okay, so this is, you'll see this at the same time as me. Okay, so we have quite a bit of clearance now. The question being is, with this tyre turned, will I have enough inward turning capabilities, and then also under compression, am I going to have enough? Now, it's also looking pretty good along the side here. I don't think that's too disproportionate. That doesn't actually look too bad. I will have to just see this line here is a little bit lower now. I'll probably have to fix that, trim it up a little bit to suit it. So yeah, I mean, what do? Do you think I put a filler panel attaching it to here? So what I mean by a filler panel is it's probably going to be another back end of a clamshell, and I'll either weld it onto here or weld it onto here, and then I'm not sure, like, do I make that two-piece? Do I just do a filler panel in there? I'm not sure. So I'm up for ideas. If you guys want to pitch in and tell me what you think I should do, get involved and whatever else, that'd be great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go turn the steering wheel and see how much clearance I've got. Now, what size is that tyre? It's like a where are we? There's a 265 35 18. So I can step down the tyre a little bit, but I still think we're going to have issues with interference when I turn. So I think, yeah, we might need to bring the bonnet even further forward. So the other thing I think I have to be aware of is it looks like the bonnet is on like a slight rake. So every time I bring it forward, the bonnet's going to slip down. It's not straight, right? So I'm going to have to be careful because it might impact the headlights and all that sort of stuff. So let's see what we can come up with. I'm already giving myself 50 millimeters more space, so that's more room for activities. But let's see if we can turn the wheel. All right, so I've now got this at full lock. Again, I haven't looked at it, but I'm not getting my hopes up. Looks pretty close. Oh, it's actually not too bad. It's actually not too bad. So this is as much lock as I get with this. That could be, I'm not sure why. I'll have to investigate. Oh, maybe the wheel's sitting on the side. Let's have a look at that. If the wheel's hitting the inner guard, okay, nothing's touching. Oh, maybe it's touching inside there. Touching. Okay, there's, oh, it's not touching. You see that? It's not touching down through there. It's pretty close, but it's not touching. I might just make the factory, yep, it's at the factory full lock. So on the Nissans, they've got your factory steering lock there. Yep, okay, cool. So we're at full lock now. That's not touching down here. That's actually looking pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. The only thing now I need to figure out is under compression of suspension, is it going to be okay? So the way I can figure that out, and I still have to, sorry, I've got to put the headlight innards in again to fully check this. Sorry. As you can see, there's no cap on the back of it, so I probably need to go and find that and put it on. This headlight, as you can see, has already been chopped out because I was just trying to be clever, and that's before I was trying to turn it into a road car. So anyway, yeah, so we got full lock. The other thing I've just noticed that could be a problem is under full lock and full compression, that tire could hit here. So basically what needs to happen is this car needs to have 40 millimeters of travel either way. So when I lift it off the ground, this car needs to have 40 millimeters of travel, and then obviously it needs to have 40 millimeters of compression, and I don't see 40 millimeters of compression there, which has just potentially put a spanner in the works. Now, I could put the spacers back on. yep, I could put the spacers back on, and I may or may not get the space, but that may or may not give us other problems. So the further I push the wheel out, the more of an arc that the front wheel will have to go on to turn, which in turn may give us issues with, again, impacting the headlight and stuff like that. But I think it's something that we can go on. I don't really want to have to redo that shock tower, but if I have to, I would have to come up close to the top there and then drop it down, or drop it down over here, so I've got more of an arc so that wheel isn't going to be impacting here. Now this is a potentially dangerous thing, either the road or the track, because obviously you don't want this wheel catching this tube in a racetrack or on a road, because that would mean possibly spinning out. However, God, I just waffle. Anyway, so I think for now, I might go have a quick look for those caps for the headlights and put them on. I kind of feel if I need to come out like another 25 millimeters, so that's an inch, yeah, that might be okay. And it's not going to be too crazy in terms of being able to fill that panel and all that sort of stuff. So also, if any of you are in Auckland watching this, and you've got a spare mini clamshell bonnet, I'm going to need some parts, so feel free to hit me up and let me know. Or if you've got a mini line around that you're cutting up or whatever, I could maybe even use that rear cowling panel. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel maybe the bonnet's a better option for that. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess this video, I mean, I haven't really achieved much in the 15 minutes, 20 minutes I've been here, but I've found some stuff out. It looks like we might need to make some improvements. Yeah, but we've made some changes as well. So we've got enough steering possibly, but I do need to check the droop and all that sort of stuff on these shocks. Yeah, so to do that, I need to take the springs out of them. Take the springs out, I can fully compress it and see, you know, how much travel I've got, but there's not 40 mils there. There's like half of that, so I'm going to do something anyway. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it at that and carry on with my night, and I will come back once I have more information. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.